Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. We are back with another crochet wig install. Now I've done something similar, but the leave out was my actual hair the first time around, and you can watch that video up here. But this time we're trying something a little new, well, at least new for me. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. We're going to be using Zury's Bonita Boho locks, which were sent to me. They're 24 inches and I got the color Ombre 30. They're 100% handmade distressed. They have a really soft and natural texture and they're extremely lightweight. These are definitely some of the most natural locks that I've tried, and I am obsessed with the distressed boho-y look. They're not itchy at all, especially being that the curly hair is synthetic. And you know that can turn on you real quick, and the girls that know, and it's not fun. I'm using this oval part crochet cap that I got from the beauty supply store a while ago, but I will have it linked down below for you guys. And we're gonna start by crocheting the hair onto the cap. Depending on what part you want, you're gonna wanna position the cap on your canvas head in that way. I wanted to do a side part, so that's how I positioned mine. Now, as far as the crocheting goes, the actual loop on this hair is a little small. To open it up, you have to pull the hair near the loop down a bit. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you get it, you'll understand. And that will allow it to open up a bit more. And I do show you what I mean in just a few. And then when you're crocheting it, you're going to want to hook the curls first and then pull everything through. If you do the actual lock, the curls do get tangled. And this is essentially how you make the loop a little bit bigger. It's not hollow on the inside. It is like an actual looped piece of hair. So when you pull the hair down, you basically expose more of the loop, and that's how you get the loop to be a little bit bigger. As you install the locks, you want to make sure you're staggering them. So basically like a brick pattern, so that when you put the wig on, you can't see the cap. I didn't finish the entire wig because I wanted to see what the coverage would be like with the closure actually on, and position the remaining hair around the perimeter properly. This was about a fourth of the way of crocheting, then about half, and then 3/4. I believe this was an 8-inch 4x4 closure. I purchased it on Amazon for $15. The closure bleached really well, and honestly, once I put the locks on, that's when I realized I'd over bleached it. But it was pretty easy to correct with a little makeup. You don't have to keep it this long, but I don't think they make closures any shorter. I got a kinky curly closure as well because I thought it'd be easier for me to braid and crochet the hair onto. I was worried that the closure at that amount of like money was going to, was going to be really thin, but it was the perfect amount of density for the style, and it held up through the entire install. Before we get to crocheting it, I'm separating the edges out and then plucking it a bit. Then it's time to section the hair off and do the braid down for each part. I wanted to make sure it was as flat as possible, so I used some wax, or I used my wax stick and then went over it with a hot comb for each part. This part is pretty self-explanatory, but what I do want to point out is that my braiding is so tea. I've been practicing my hand positioning and it definitely shows, because usually they would not look this flat. Like, I know y'all see that technique and I'm gonna really need you to appreciate it, because the next thing you know, I'm gonna be doing box braids in my own head. I don't know. That's what we're gearing towards, because this looks official. When crocheting the locks onto the closure, you're going to want to crochet the hair under the braid, not over. The reason being is when you do it the other way, the knot at the root looks really bulky and unnatural. For the knot, you're going to bring both the braid and the lock through, and then carefully using the crochet hook, pull the braid through the lock. Now the lock isn't entirely hollow, so you have to find a happy medium when pulling it through. And I'm not really sure how to describe this, but you can kind of hide the hair a bit more by adjusting the hair that's surrounding the inside of the lock, if that makes sense. I don't know. And you can kind of see me like pulling the hair down and up and just making it a little bit messier just to get better coverage. Now, the only thing that I wasn't a fan of with these locks was that even though it says it doesn't tangle, it definitely did while I was crocheting the hair. Plus, it was, a little bit difficult to crochet with all of the curls. But eventually, we got the hang of it to prevent it from tangling. And even though the curls were tripping me up, I really did love the pattern, the curl pattern, along with the fact that all of the locks had curly bits at different parts of the hair to make it look like an actual install, not like uniform locks out of a pack. Low key, since I over bleached the knots, I feel like the roots look so similar to the color of the locks, and I kind of like that. And this is what it looks like when everything is done. All right, so we're back to the wig. We're going to cut the little plastic thing from the top of it and then sew the closure to the wig. And now you can see exactly where I have to put the rest of the locks to finish off the hair. I did go to the store to see if they had any bundles that were the same color, so I could use a little bit less locks and make it look more boho-y, but they didn't have any colors that match. So in total, I used about 5 or 4.5 packs of hair. And I think there was like 12 locks in each pack. Now it's time for the install. First, I'm going to use my lace tint and cut the excess lace with my pinking shears. Of course, we have to try on the wig, and this is where I realized that it was entirely too bleached. I basically made this closure bald at this point. I mean, the concept and the thought process was there. It's just the execution was not. There's clips on the cap, so I'm using that to anchor the wig into place. I'm gluing the wig down using my Erica J lace glue, and I'm only using 1 layer as usual. And then going through my regular steps for the edges, laying it down, using an elastic band. And for the actual edges, I did curl them and then use some mousse and edge booster to really get them to be like super, super sleek. After I do my makeup, I use a little bit of black eyeshadow to fill in any sparse areas. And I use a very, very light hand, very light strokes, because I want it to look like hair and not like I just threw powder on the part. And this is the before and after side by side. And as you can see, it's a big difference. Even though we have the clips on the inside of the wig, I did go in and just pin around any sides that I felt like if the wind blew, it'd just fall off. You don't have to do it, but I like it for extra security. Now, I didn't keep the wig in for long, but being that we can take it on and off, I would say that this hairstyle would probably last you for about a month or so. All right, y'all, so this is the final look. I am obsessed, actually obsessed. I do have to say, I thought this was gonna be so heavy on my head. It is so lightweight. I think because of the cap, it never felt this light. Like, I feel like there's nothing on my head. I don't know why. I really don't, because there's definitely a lot. So it's looking like I used 4.5, which I feel like is a good amount of hair. Like, I really love this hair. Also, this closure, this $15 closure is tea. Like, this hairstyle is gonna cost you nothing at all. Here's the rundown, right? We crocheted the hair onto the cap. That's gonna take you 30 minutes max. Like, it's not gonna take you any time at all. Getting the closure, bleaching the knots. Let's say bleaching the knots takes you like 20 to 30 minutes. Doing the parting, y'all know I can't part for real, so I'm gonna say 45 minutes. Then crocheting the hair onto the closure, I feel like that's another 30 maybe. Y'all might work faster or slower than me, don't listen to me, okay? Because I did this over a course of a few days. I just did a little bit at a time, just for peace of mind and sanity, because this is something that I've never done before and I didn't want to rush through it. So here we go. Crocheting the locks onto the closure, that probably took about another 30 to 45, so that's what, like 3 hours. And then sewing, because I was like, am I gonna just glue this and sew it down? No, we want it to be like a wig, just throw on and take it off. Okay, that's it. That took 10 minutes, it didn't even take long. So, and then the install took less than, I kid you not, 10 minutes. Like, literally, the makeup took the longest out of like all the steps. Hey, let me find out I could make me a little crochet wig from scratch. Now, I don't know what the back looks like per se. Now, even me doing this, I know there's gaps in the back, so I'm not even gonna really turn around for real. But when it's all back, I don't know if I can feel the gaps, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can see the gaps. So I would definitely get somebody to, you know, hey, what is it looking like back here? Let me know if I need to fill in some spots. I was like, oh, maybe I could just cut this off and then crochet it in. It's just too soft to try to crochet into the cap or just anywhere. It's just too soft. I would recommend either gluing it, but don't do a hot glue, because that's what I tried to do. Maybe nail glue might work. I don't have any nail glue, so that was not an option. This is what she looks like up close. I really, really love this color, y'all. This color is so tea. So that is going to be it for this video, y'all. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're alerted when I post new videos. Thumbs this video up if you like what you see. Let me know if you have any hairstyles that you want me to try. If you have any questions on any parts of this video, leave them in the comment section below. Of course, I'll link everything in the description box below, so make sure to check that out. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.